Welcome back to Coffee and Conversation and Baby Bunnies. So let me see if I can get you a good look at this little one, who's not so little anymore, but I do have to keep my hands on him/her because they are getting jumpy and hoppy. Put you back in. So let me show you the two. I hope you can see them. The two that are remaining with me. Originally there were 5. 3 of them were thriving. They took to the bottle quickly. I had 2 others. One was definitely smaller than the rest to begin with. And the 5th, who was a good-sized little bunny, is as big as the bigger bunnies, just didn't take to the bottle well. So when the 3 that were thriving got to a good size, I released them. And that was a few days ago. And I thought, well, I'll hold the 2 that... The 2 weaker bunnies, basically. I'll hold them back so that they won't have any competition. They won't get pushed away from food. And see, that's the unusual thing, because I was feeding them by hand, meaning taking them out of the cage, wrapping them in a little washcloth, and then bottle feeding them. So even the bunny that didn't really like the bottle very much, I was making sure that I was getting enough milk into that bunny's mouth so that the little bunny belly was full. Plus, of course, their bedding was alfalfa and timothy hay, which is the natural food for wild rabbits. So they have their bedding, and I know it sounds bizarre, but yes, they can eat that too, and they most certainly did. And I was feeding them seeds and grains and like manufactured bunny food, that wasn't exactly Purina bunny chow, but, the next best thing. And I tried to keep them on very little manufactured food because they're going out into the wild. I wanted them to eat what they will be eating once they are released. But by the same token, I didn't want them going hungry, and I knew that at least 2 of them were not developing the way the others did. And I had assumed that because I was feeding them, when they feed with their mother, the bigger bunnies can push the smaller bunnies out of the way. The mother doesn't stop this. This is nature's way, but they didn't have to deal with that with me. I was not letting the big ones push the little ones away from the bottle because I was feeding all of them individually. But I think maybe 2 of them just got a less robust start in life. So these are the 2 that I have now. Now they are big, they are fat, they are sassy. Their little bunny bellies are very full. They're no longer on milk. They are getting their liquid from the water bottle, which they knock off the side of their cage about twice a day. Plus they have their timothy hay, their alfalfa, the grains and seeds and bits of fruit that is in that commercial bunny feeding mix, plus bunny hoops, which is little, it's a little bunny food product that looks a lot like Fruit Loops, to be honest with you. It's brightly colored SpaghettiO-looking things. So I think it is about time that we go off. I have decided that I'm going to release them just 2 doors down at the Mennonite Alfalfa Farm because they're growing alfalfa there. And 2 little baby bunnies are not enough to destroy my neighbor's crops. They're very, very tiny, and, there's just not a lot of damage they can do. They will get out of the way when the farm equipment comes through. They are wild animals. They still have that natural fear of noise, and that's where we're at. And I know this is a very long-winded explanation, but I've had you folks with me from the beginning with these little baby bunnies, and this is where we're at. Audie still wants to keep them. Audie, unfortunately, Audie is a very affectionate cat. His natural disposition is very interactive, very affectionate. But just because he likes them now while they are little does not mean he will not see them as a food source in a few weeks or a few months. And I cannot guarantee that I can keep these bunnies away from Audie. And it's not just a question of keep Audie from hurting them, but I need to keep Audie from worrying them. So I don't want these little bunnies living their lives in fear because a giant panther is stalking them. So that would be cruel. So yeah, Audie is unhappy about it. I don't know what to say. Audie needs a pet. He really does. But not just any pet. The problem is Audie needs his own dog back. And his dog is gone. And he's cat. There's no way I can communicate that to him. But I had considered getting him another dog. Not a cat. Audie does not like other cats. He is the alpha male around here, and he won't tolerate the presence of another cat. So I thought maybe a dog. But I'm very clear about the fact that it's Hannah that he misses. It's not some random new dog that might come into the house. So, yeah, I think Audie is destined to be an only cat for a while. What will happen is Audie will go back out into the yard. He will find a gopher, a chipmunk. Oh, gosh, he even found a possum once. And he will attempt to drag it back into the house. It's like, here, look what followed me home. They did not follow him home. They were not voluntary participants in this. And the reason, let me show you this again. The reason I have this little travel cage is because I keep them for Audie's wannabe pets, because he will catch all kinds of stuff, bring it to me, and I have to keep the animal somewhere until it recovers from its shock. Sometimes they'll just play dead. Other times they will just be utterly terrified, and I don't want them doing anything stupid like running out in traffic. So I usually keep them for an hour or two until they calm down and then release them somewhere safe. In other words, not near a street. And more importantly, not near my cat. So that's what's going on. Yes, Audie doesn't mean any harm, but my goodness, he is capable of doing a lot of it. So, we're way past the point where I can make a long story short. So I'm just going to finish up with this weekend. I am hoping to do the release. It's hard because they're adorable and I've gotten attached to them, but this is what needs to happen. So I am going to steel myself, pick up that cage, take them out, and let them go. And yeah, not going to be easy, and Audie is not going to like it. All right, we're going to take a break for the intro. Sorry this got so long-winded, but this probably is the last we will see of the bunnies. And that's a good thing. They'll be out in the wild where they want to be. All right, quick break for the intro. We'll be right back. So, the weather is starting to change around here. And it changes. I am on the east coast of the United States. For those of you who are not familiar with American geography, I have always been an East Coast person. I had a brief period of my life. Well, it was 3 of the longest years of my life when I was in the Midwest, in Indiana. But other than that, I am an East Coast person. And if you take me too far away from the Atlantic Ocean, I start to go a little loopy. We have a rather noticeable change from summer to autumn at the end of August. Now, technically speaking, of course, autumn shouldn't be starting for another 3 weeks, but the temperature changes very conspicuously. Now, I would probably be keenly aware of this for reasons other than what I'm going to explain to you, because it is the start of the school year. The school year starts here usually, historically, it was the first Tuesday after Labor Day. Labor Day is the first Monday in September, so that Tuesday, that was the historical start of the U.S. public school year. Not happening so much anymore. Around here and South Central Pennsylvania, the kids went back to school about a week ago. And not all of them, by the way. So I don't know what's going on. Things are changing. Yeah, I know, I'm getting old. Not quite up with the times anymore. But this is, generally speaking, around the time the kids go back to school. So that alone would make me cognizant of the abrupt weather change this time of year, just because of the school schedule. But the other part of it is my birthday today. And I am filming this, by the way, the day before my birthday. A lot of you know that because I've often said that the late Princess Diana died on my birthday. Now, for those of you who actually look up the facts, you will be saying, no, she died on August 31st, which is technically true because she died in Paris. But the time of her death in Paris was about 2:30 in the morning, August 31st, and around, I guess, 10:30 or so, give or take, I'm not quite sure, somewhere in the late evening hours of August 30th. So, from my perspective, being in the United States when she passed, yes, she passed on my birthday. It was merely the technicality of local time in Paris when she died that places her death on the 31st. Also, for those of you who may be aware, and many of you are aware that Colleen Harrigan-Staver is one of our suemeangels. She's been running that Facebook group for us for years, and she and her colleagues have been doing a fabulous job. Colleen's daughter, Kelly, was born on August 30th. Now, my theory on this is when she had a baby on my birthday, I think you know that baby should have come to me. But she didn't do that. She kept her for herself, which is a good thing because she did a very good job with Kelly, far better than I would have done. But yes, Kelly is my birthday girl. So this is like a joyous time for us, kind of, sort of. I'm past celebrating my birthday. It's no longer the big deal it was when I was 8, 9, 10. So it's sort of kind of, just another day. But it is my reminder. My birthday rolls around and I need to start pulling the sweaters out of the boxes and hanging them back up. Now, I know a lot of you disapprove of my habit of hanging my sweaters in the closet, but in my defense, I will say I use very, very bulky clothes hangers for the sweaters to maintain their shape. And the truth is, I just can't keep digging sweaters out of boxes under my bed all winter long. That's just not a plan. And I don't have the kind of storage space you need to store sweaters flat. These days, very few of us do. If you have a lot of sweaters, and I do frankly have a lot of sweaters, I like sweaters, and I have all the sweaters I need. But to be honest with you, I also like shopping for sweaters. So yeah, having all that I need does present a little bit of a hardship for me because that means no new sweaters to buy. Although, you gotta know I'm always going to find a new sweater to buy somewhere. But I don't have the kind of storage space that would allow me to store them flat. Just don't. So they do get hung up and they are in the closet for 5 or 6 months out of the year. And then at the end of the season, I take them down, fold them back up, put them in little boxes under the bed, and let them rest. Because I know it's not good for them to hang them, especially not on thin, flimsy hangers. And as I say, I use very bulky hangers to keep those shoulders in their proper shape. And I do, in fact, wear my sweaters extensively over the winter. So, you know, if they're not on my body, they're usually just waiting to go on me. So they are going to be hanging one way or another for most of their working lives for those 5 months out of the year. Would I like a better system? Yeah. Am I going to eventually work something out? Possibly. I do have chests and trunks, and if I clear out whatever stuff I've got in there, I could sort of fold my sweaters up and leave them in there. But my fear is that if they are stacked in a chest or a trunk, I'm going to be pulling sweaters out to get the one I want, if the one I want is at the bottom, which it almost always is. That's just Murphy's Law. And then what's going to happen? Are they going to be just tossed on the floor when I'm done? I don't know. So for the moment, this is a system that I'm going to have to make work for me. So once again, oh gosh, I'm feeling so long-winded this weekend. But once again, I am just babbling on about this. But I did want to talk about this because I think we all have to look at going through clothing. If we have a climate that changes season to season. I have one here, South Central Pennsylvania. There's practically no such thing as spring or fall. We go from winter to summer and then summer to winter with very little change in temperature. What we experience here as fall weather is really just a question of it gets warm in the morning, but it's still going up to 80 degrees in the afternoon. So that's kind of, I don't know, something I had to get used to. That doesn't happen in New England, at least not on a regular basis anyway. So most of us do have to cope with the change in season. For some of us, it's a question of we might have a season where we get a lot more rain than we do other times of the year. And then these are times when we have to change out the available clothing that we have. I do not have a very large, very extensive wardrobe. I am trying desperately to keep a check on the amount of clothing I have. And we've talked about this before. But I do have that situation with my sweaters that does mean a portion of my wardrobe gets put away so that the sweaters can rest for a few months. So I do have to cope with that. But this is a perfect time when we start changing things out, when we can look critically, especially if we're going to put our summer clothing away, and just say, is this going to work for me for another season? Do I have everything I need so that when spring rolls around and it's time to pull, the lighter, less bulky items back into general circulation, am I going to be okay? So I was not, by the way. This past season, no. I had a bunch of wonderful linen t-shirts. This is one of them. This is navy blue. It probably looks black to you. I know it looks black to me, but it truly is navy blue. I wish I could pretend otherwise, because who knows, I might get a lot more use out of it if it actually was black. But this is a piece I got, I guess 2 or 3 years ago. I got it from H&M online. I paid $7 for it. So this has been, it's gotten the cost per wear and then some in the time that I've had it. But I have this and a few others from the batch of very nice, lightweight linen t-shirts I got that I believe it was in 2023. It might have been 2022. I thought, oh gosh, these will last me forever. And then I sort of sized out of them. And I just could no longer wear them. And it wasn't just a question of, oh, those look a little dumpy on you. Oh no, they were like falling off. And especially the V-necked ones. This is a good one because the V-neck isn't dropping so low that you can see my bra. That was absolutely happening on some of them. So they had to leave my wardrobe. They had to be donated. I was unhappy about that, but the problem is if you wear something with a low V-neck and you adjust it, pull it up, pull it down a little in the back, get that V to a modest level, you got to know that when you wear it and you start moving around, it's going to creep right back down. And before you realize it, you're in the supermarket and the boy at the checkout is just staring down your bra and you're thinking to yourself, how did this happen? Well, yeah, wearing clothing that doesn't properly fit is how it happens. So yeah, and I looked at that whole situation this year and thought to myself, I have got to get some more lightweight items, preferably linen. And I was not particularly successful. I did end up picking up a few t-shirts here or there, or a few t-shirt-like items. And I can't say I'm actually very happy with any of them. Now, the upside is I grabbed everything on the kind of sale where you look at that and say, well, I paid $10 for it. I got to wear it 6 times this summer. I'm okay with that in terms of cost per wear. It's still in great condition and I can donate it and somebody else might like it better. So yeah, I can't say I was happy with any of the replacement pieces I got for my linen t-shirts. Does H&M still sell these? No. So I am just out of luck. So what I'm going to do as the colder weather comes along, I'm going to start looking to hit up sales and see if I can find some summer items in the fall and winter. Because, of course, you get your best deals when these things are on deep discount. I'm going to have to take a look at that and see if I can fluff out those summer tops. I know, well, you can come up and sit in my lap. All right. Sorry, needy cat. Because the problem with summer clothing, as opposed to winter clothing, is summer clothing that cannot be doubled up and layered the way winter clothing can. Can I wear this in the winter? Oh yeah, you give me enough sweaters and I can wear anything in the winter. But when you have very, very hot summers, you need the lighter weight summer clothing. So that's what I'm going to be looking at over this coming winter. But also, as I pull my sweaters out of the boxes, get them back into the closet for their future use, which, by the way, as I mentioned, is already happening. It's already chilly in the morning. I am already leaving the house with sweaters or, just heavier shirts. So what I'm going to do is very carefully go through all of the things, including the new things I got in 2025 for the summer that didn't really work out for me. And see, part of the thing that I do, I'm sure plenty of you do it too, is if I get something and it doesn't work out, I will look at it and say, but this is brand new. I only got this 3-4 months ago. It's my mother on my shoulder scolding me. I only got this 3 or 4 months ago. I've worn it a handful of times. I'm sure if I just hang on to it, I will get more use out of it. But then I have to face the fact that I have something in my closet that I know is not working out for me, that I look at it and say, am I wearing this because I like it, because I want to wear it, because I have gone into the closet, pulled it out, and said, this is what I would like to wear today? Or am I doing it because I went into my closet and said, you know, I really need to wear this piece because I just got it and I haven't gotten very much use out of it, and I'd like to get my money's worth out of it before I am compelled to donate it. Because that's what I'm doing with some of these things. And they're not bad pieces. They are good pieces. They are nice. They are new. I went into stores and said, oh, I shall buy this. I got good deals on them. But now I have to look at this and say, why am I keeping it? You know, am I keeping it because I like it? Well, we already know the answer to that is no. I'm keeping this because I like, oh, here, I'm going to show you how much I like this. And I don't know if you can see this. I may have shown this to you before. This is a little black cat face. It is a little patch. Audie was climbing up. You know he likes my right shoulder much better than the left one. He was climbing up on me to get onto my shoulder and snagged that with his claw, left a little hole. I like this enough so that I went out, got a little Audie patch, patched that hole, and that is sort of, yes, Audie left that hole for me. But I patched it. So, yes, I like this. I do intend to keep this. I will keep this until eventually this V-neck gets so low I can't respectably walk into a grocery store with it. But for the moment, it's okay. I'm still getting my use out of it. And because it is linen, it will get me through the entire summer. It's going to be comfortable when we've got 90 plus degrees days out there. So, yeah. Can I say that about everything? No, I cannot. So ultimately, why am I saving these things? Why are they there? A new one. Oh, Tommy Hilfiger. Yes, I like it. But I got a very, very good deal on it. It's a very nice shirt. The problem is it's cotton. And cotton is not a good summer fabric for this weather. It really isn't. It gets so hot here that if you don't go over to linen or, you know, bikini tops, and I'm way past that point, you're just going to swelter in the heat. A heavyweight cotton shirt is not going to do it for me. It's not. And then when winter rolls around, that heavyweight cotton shirt, which might be suitable, is going to have to compete with all of the wool items in my closet. And I love those. So I still have this little orphan shirt that I got because, oh, it's summer and it's cute and it's a nice designer label. And but again, I got a fabulous deal on it. So it can go into the donation box, even though I've scarcely worn it at all. And that, well, come up if you want to. Are you starting to get some sense of how plagued I am by this cat? This is my life. Usually he's quiet when I'm filming. When I am not filming, the cat is at my feet screaming at me. Yeah, like I said, this is my life. So anyway, that's what I'm looking at as I start packing these away. Will I pack all of them away? Probably not. What happens with most of my summer things is I have a lot of tank tops, and the tank tops are fine all by themselves in the summer. I will not wear them outside of my own home, outside of my own yard. Well, probably not outside of my own home. But I will not wear them to the store or whatever. It's just, It's not a very attractive look on me, not at this stage of my life. But they will be in constant circulation year-round, because the tank top I wear all by itself in the summer is the undershirt I am going to wear under something else in the winter. And I'm perfectly fine with that. In fact, I like those tank tops because it allows me to put on a button-down shirt and leave several buttons open if I feel like it. And then I have the sparky little tank top underneath for a little blast of color. Works well. But things like the t-shirts, most of them are probably not going to get used over the course of the winter. They might, it's possible. If they do, again, they're going to be used as undershirts. But there are some that I'm really going to have to re-examine. Am I going to keep them? And I thought, given the fact that I'm going through this, and I may be doing this a little early in the year compared to the way most of you do this. There are other parts of the country where you really don't face fall until toward the end of September. And so you may be looking at this in 3 or 4 weeks. But what I am going to do, and what I wanted to throw out to you because maybe it would be useful for you as well, is this year, I am going to be a little more critical in terms of the things that go into the donation box. The summer things that I know I am not going to be, not just I'm not going to be wearing, but I'm not going to be reaching for first and foremost in that closet are going to get packed up and donated. There is no sense in keeping something if I know that I don't like it. Why am I forcing myself to wear a shirt that it's perfectly cute, perfectly acceptable, blah, 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 blah. I just don't like it. That's all it is, a matter of personal taste. I don't like it. I don't feel it's working for me. So why am I giving it rent-free space in my closet? Why am I forcing myself? And this cute little Tommy Hilfiger shirt is one of the things that's just not working for me. And as I say, for me, the problem is it's heavy cotton. The cotton is too heavy for our summers. And when I'm looking for heavier clothing, it's not going to be this. So why am I forcing myself to wear it? Why am I making myself feel guilty when I see that in my closet and I'm not pulling it out? I'm torturing myself over a shirt that I think I paid all of $12 for. I'll look it up for you and post it. But I think I paid $12 for it. Why am I doing this to myself? And I truly need to go through these things and start looking at this, not just in terms of, I'm not going to be wearing it because winter is coming, but did I wear it this past summer? Did I enjoy wearing it? Am I looking forward to wearing it again next summer? And if the answer to that is no, I need to box it up and move it along. Somebody else is going to enjoy this. And again, as I say, I get most of my stuff dirt cheap, $7, well, actually $6.99, just to be exact, $6.99. I am such a bargain shopper that there is nothing, well, almost nothing in my closet that would represent a great financial loss if I moved it out. No. So I need to be more broad in terms of what my criteria is for the things that will be relegated to the back of the closet. My summer things do not leave the closet, but they do get moved to the less prominent locations as we move into winter, just because I'm not reaching for them first thing, but they're still there and I might still reach for them. And again, as I say, I don't have so many items of clothing that I can't keep them all in my closet. So I have to expand the criteria I'm using for, is this going to stay with me? I have to stop just looking at it in terms of, because this has always been my criteria. Is it in good shape? Is it worn? Is it damaged? Is it still a respectable looking piece? Oh, it gets to stay. Does it fit? Oh, it gets to stay. And that's basically been the criteria I've used, condition and fit. I think I need to move away from that and start looking at, do I like it? Because I have a lot of things in my closet that I do not like. So here's how I'm selling myself on this. Because quite frankly, I don't know about the rest of you, but I play games with myself to get me to do things I know I ought to be doing. So I look at that and say, well, if you're keeping things you don't particularly like in your closet, regardless of the reason you don't like it, that is one less new thing you could go out and buy that you will like and stick in there. Now, does this mean I am going to replace everything I get rid of? Oh, hopefully not. That is not my goal. Does it mean I will get some things that I do like more? Yes, indeed I will. Oh, by the way, did you notice I did manage to get his old collar off him? One of you had suggested that I just shove catnip in his dish, let him zone out, and change the collar. And I was about to do that when I realized I have all these cat treats, so I bribed him with his favorite cat treat, and while he was gobbling, the old collar came off, the new one came on, and it's no longer a shabby, grimy, dirty-looking little thing. Now, yes, now you look good. Now you look like a handsome, well-dressed boy. So let me move you. So, am I going to replace one for one every item I managed to get rid of? No. No. No, I'm not going to do it. I'm going to exercise some willpower. But am I going to replace some of them with items that are probably going to better serve me? I hope so. Because the reason this whole thing started was because I had gotten down to a half a dozen linen shirts and, linen t-shirts. And that was it. And it's not just a question of I have to go out and live my life and I don't want to wear the same things over and over again, but also I am making 4 videos every single week. And you will all get into a state of fatigue if I don't try to change things every now and then. So I do, in that sense, need to maintain a slightly more extensive wardrobe than I might, but I don't think anybody, and just maybe this is just me, I don't think anybody could go through an entire summer on 6 shirts. That's it. Oh, and I'm sorry, I should probably throw this in. 2 of them are duplicates. I accidentally bought the same shirt twice. So they are exactly the same style, exactly the same color. And I love them. But in terms of variety, 5 shirts. That's what I ended up with going into this past summer. Was that enough? No. So does that mean I should be looking to throw a few more items in? Yes. Does that mean I need to go crazy and just buy everything I see? No. Because I think some of these poor purchases were the result of feeling that sense of pressure, knowing I needed more clothing, and then just grabbing the first thing that just vaguely ticked off the boxes. So that is what I am planning to do. Now, as always, I would like to hear from you all in the comments. How do you deal with it? Do you have hot summers? What are you wearing when your summers are hot? Like I say, I'm fine with tank tops around the house, but I'm not okay going out into the community, with so little on me. And no, I got a little problem with that. But what are you doing? How do you cope with this? And as always, I am looking forward to your opinions. Because remember, I got my cat out of his grubby collar thanks to one of you giving me the catnip tip. And that led me to the favorite cat treat, to the new collar on my cat. All right, we're going to take a look at a slideshow on the way out. I hope to see you all tomorrow. And in the meanwhile, have a terrific day. Oh, you know what I'm going to do? Instead of a slideshow, I have a film clip of those little baby bunnies when they first came to live with me. So seeing as we're probably saying goodbye to them, let's take a quick look at what those little baby bunnies looked like, these many days ago when they first came to us. All right. Again, have a terrific day.